Moss.
And I'm AJ Finney.
And this is
Hippie?
Not Hippie.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of Hippie, Not Hippie.
Yeah.
What an extensive yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm in the mood to yeah today.
You're in a yeah mood, huh?
Yeah, man. I'm in a yeah mood.
Yeah, man.
No, it was Megan's birthday. I had a pretty wild night last night. We went to Alaska.
Wait a minute. You went to Alaska last night?
Yeah, Alaska. It was very sexy, very provocative.
Wait a minute. Was this a show?
We went to Alaska Thunderfuck, the drag queen.
There we go. I was like, for a moment, I was like, oh, you just took a random trip to Alaska. And I was like, no wonder you were tired when I got here this morning.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. They say that you shouldn't go to Alaska as a young man because once you've seen Alaska, you won't be impressed by anything else for the rest of your life. And I do have to say, man, that show was fucking awesome.
So let me ask you this. You've been to the state Alaska.
Yeah.
And then last night you went and saw Alaska Thunderfuck. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
which was the more enjoyable Alaska?
Oh boy, I don't think you can really compare mountains and oceans
and rockfish.
I mean, yeah. So first of all, Alaska is a very good drag queen. She placed in like season 6, I think, and then she won season 2 of All Stars, which is all of the best like queens. So she's very good and she's funny as fuck, man. Like
it's music or it's an entire.
It's music, it's fashion, it's a performance, it's drag, man.
Okay, and so it's an entire show.
Yeah, but she actually sings. Like, she's not lip syncing. A lot of drag queens lip sync or whatever. She actually sings. She has a bunch of her own songs, and they're like super funny songs. Like, one of them's like, I got glitter on my dick.
It's one of those situations I would like to bring someone that did not know what was going on, like an older gentleman, like someone like my dad. And we just roll in, and as soon as he hears I've got glitter on my dick, that moment where he turns and he goes, where are we at, son?
Yeah, glitter on the dick is a good one. Or it was really funny, but there's a whole like storyline with it. And the storyline was that Alaska had lived on another planet in a faraway place.
Okay.
And then discovered the color red, which was illegal. And the alien overlord, also played by Alaska in a different drag outfit, comes on the screen and is like, you are in trouble. Red is banned, so Alaska has to flee her home world to go to Earth. And crash lands on Earth in a garbage dump, and then walks into a shopping mall, and all these girls are like, "It's 2000," and it's the year 2000. But it's all these like bearded dudes dressed up like mall girls that come out, and then oh god,
mean girls with beards. I like that.
Oh man, she's very funny. But like as a comic, I'm sitting there watching, and she's like, "Oh, look at this beautiful planet, Earth. It's so beautiful. I'm sure nothing terrible ever happens there."
Oh, man. I went through a big Warhol phase, and everything you're talking about, like where it's super creative, very unique. And then all of a sudden when she lands in a dumpster, I'm like, oh, that is so pop, like glam trash.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the name of the planet, was Glamtron. It was planet Glamtron that she came from. So yeah, she crashed into the and then she comes out just like covered in trash and everything, and then all the shopping mall like girls like clutter around her, and then all of a sudden it's like a big reveal. She's just like a early 2000s woman.
Ooh, I was in a dumpster, but now I'm all business.
Yeah, man. I highly recommend. It was the last show of the tour, but yeah, if you ever get a chance to see Alaska, the state or the act.
Yeah.
Well, what was killing me as
Where
a
was
comic,
it at? Where was it at?
I was at the Bluebird.
At the Bluebird. No. So a question, is she local or is this a touring?
No, it's a touring thing. She
Okay.
was in Boulder last night, and I think they did 30 days.
Wow.
So
So it is like I almost said one man, like a one woman show.
yeah, one-person shows, I think what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, you know what? I'm 44. I'm really trying.
Yeah, no. We're learning. I'm teaching, you know. Yeah. No, that's what it is, a one-person show. In a way, for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm working on a one-person show myself right now, and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to need to do some costume changes.
Yeah.
These are some creative ways to handle the crowd for a costume change. Yeah, I was watching. But so the thing that killed me as a comic, though, is that her name is Alaska.
Yeah.
And like literally she goes to like when she tells them they're Alaska, like there's not one joke like the state or like
that doesn't get brought up at all.
She's like, oh, I'm going, like I wanted her to be like, oh, I'm going to Earth, where there's already a state with my name. But I guess she never brings up her name or talks about it, so it might be just kind of like I don't know if this is the right, Springfield, Missouri, maybe. I don't know. Just like
because there's a Springfield everywhere. So
so there's a Alaska thunderfucking Glamtron, I guess, too, or whatever.
Wow,
but
this is interesting because I had a show similar kind of feel. I did the Naughty Show.
Oh yeah.
Chris's show.
Rope play, huh?
Rope play, and I had no idea what I was going into. Went in kind of blind.
You don't get tied up though, right?
That's what I was hoping. Yes, for the record, you do not. The performer doesn't.
You were hoping that you wouldn't, or you were hoping that you wanted to get tied down, baby. You wanted to get hog-tied, didn't you?
No, I was hoping I was not going to. But it's funny because a lot of my coworkers, and I want to give a shout out to everyone from REI that came out to the show. I was super excited to have friends out there, as well as like coworkers that are just. I heard a lot of people around REI going, "Do you guys want to go and see what happens to AJ?" And I try to be very open-minded, but my anxiety and age just, there are walls I have to push through.
You're not a big rope play guy?
That's not, I mean, I was a climber, but not necessarily. I mean, there are concerns.
I mean, the audience is well aware of your love of carabiners and how that led to your eventual
employment.
Enslavement.
Enslavement. I love how this is going to break. I talked to the GM of the Denver flagship, and I was like, I defended this company. And he goes, I don't know what he did, but he did start following the podcast.
He's like, I want to hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, it's a joke. I'm sure they're
great. They're great.
As corporations go, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're at the Studio Friction for this thing, and it's interesting when you walk in.
Studio Friction is
Studio
so that's not
Friction.
The Dangerous Theater anymore.
No. Well, no, that's where the Kink Show is. This is the Naughty Show. KNOTTY.
At Friction.
Studio
So
Friction.
What is friction when you're not telling jokes while someone's getting tied?
Yeah, I mean, your soul just told us what it was.
Yeah, with 17th of an orgasm.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
So what are you asking? When there's not a show, what is it?
Yeah, what is friction?
Dude.
Is it a venue, or is it like a place where people tie each other up and hit each other?
Yeah. Yes.
To both?
It's kind of a venue. I think Chris has got it now as kind of a venue to do this, but it's mostly I want to call it a private club.
Yeah.
And it's literally right over by the bunt port.
Because people's privates are out.
That's correct. But it's neat. So it's a place where you can go that people that are into this or curious about it. You can go and learn, because I found out a lot about like where you have to put ropes.
Yeah.
You have to be really careful of like arteries and nerve endings and things like that, because you could, I believe, hurt somebody.
Yeah. You're hanging there suspended with your rope. Yeah. No, I have heard. That's right by the bunt port. There's that church next to there with the homeless man on the bench, the statue. I think you go and tickle his armpit, and then a door opens up down to Friction.
Yeah. You have to walk through the waterfall of anal beads. If you don't know what that means, check out the previous episodes.
Yeah. But
But yeah, I went. Everyone was super nice, and it is something. If you're interested and you live in the Denver area, I would check it out. Couples can go. You can learn this, and you have the right to be as comfortable as you want, as much or as little of clothing as you prefer.
Yeah, I dated a person that was real into that briefly.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they tie you up, or were they?
No, they like wanted me to come to a thing and like learn how to tie knots and ropes on them, and I was like, this sounds like. Wait, I thought we were having sex. This feels like Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, what? I need to learn knots and fucking. And then she's like, yeah. And then like while we're there too, it's also a great place to do blood play. And I was like, what is that?
That one. Like, I don't want to kink shame people, but as soon as you said blood play, I got uncomfortable, and I thought of Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie, where she had that little vial of his blood. You remember that?
No, man, but that's fucking.
I believe she was wearing a little vial of his blood for a little while.
Oh wow, I feel like Megan would like that.
A vial of
my blood.
Oh, I was like.
You know, maybe that's what I'll get her for Christmas. A vial of my blood that she can wear.
I thought for a second, I thought you were going to try to order her a vial of Billy Bob Thornton's blood.
So what do you think blood play is, AJ?
Dude, I don't know. There's ripping and tearing.
You're like, oh, it's so period sex?
Oh. I mean, that left a bad taste in my mouth. Well, I shouldn't have said it that way. I'm upset about that word or that line.
Well, you know how they do that suction cup thing?
I do know about that. There's also a type of.
Have you seen those people that look like they got attacked by an octopus?
Are you talking about the ones where they put it on they'll put it on the breast and they suck the nipples out real long, where they have like a 9-inch.
Well, no, I'm talking about the therapeutic version, not the weird porn.
Okay.
Suction pump thing.
In my defense, what we were talking about to then justify a therapeutic thing, like it.
Well, no, I'm using the therapeutic thing to ease you into the sex thing.
Oh, so you're talking about cupping, where they'll have like the several bruises running down their back?
But they do it for blood play. They do it, and I think there's maybe even fire involved in wax a lot of times because you'll use like a candle to create a vacuum to create suction.
This is for the therapeutic.
Yeah, I can't remember if there's candles involved or not. But basically the drift that I got from her is that they put like suction cups on you that will suck blood through your skin into the cup. And then once the blood has been sucked into the cup, they pull it off and you like dump it all over yourselves and like fucking covered in blood.
Wow. So I've seen the bruises. Like my friend Aaron was studying Chinese medicine, and I remember seeing the
blood play.
I will say this. I want to put this out here. Anyone who listens to this that knows about blood play, you can verify or debunk what Zach is saying. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but I do know there is a lighting procedure, like a wick, right on the top of the cupping.
Okay, there is. So, all right.
I believe so.
I've never gotten either.
I have not either.
She was like, "You want to go do this?" And I'm like, "Tie knots and fuck covered in blood." I'm gonna date someone else. Thank you for communicating what you're into.
Oh, you want to do some macrame and live carry?
No, I think how that relationship ended is that person. I think my grandma died, and my mom was trying to tell me, like, called me and tried to tell me on the phone that my grandma had died. Oh no, it wasn't my grandma. Someone very close to me had died.
Okay. From blood play?
No, and I got a phone call about how they had died from a family member, and this person was trying to blow me while I was on this call, and I wouldn't let them, and they just like kept trying to blow me on this death family call, and I was like, I'm on a death family call. She lost her shit and was like, fuck you, and then like left, and that was like the last time.
Oh my God.
Like she tried to apologize, but I was like, I don't think this is gonna work out.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, back to this show. So yeah, a lot of my friends, coworkers showed up, and they're very supportive, but I'm getting uncomfortable because I don't know what we're involved in. My wife is there. And there are people at varying degrees of responsibility from REI. You ever have people show up to a show and then you go, I hope I didn't make a mistake?
Yeah. I mean, that is a weird place to invite your coworkers to a place. You're like, hey, guys,
Yeah.
come on down to Friction.
Studio Friction.
Come on down to Studio Friction for the rope show.
Yeah. Come on down to the rope show. Hey, don't you
Yeah.
work in climbing, right?
Did you run into that lasso hustler that I met at the law office the week before?
No lasso
They're
hustling.
like, yeah, we just pay her to rope people down
Yeah.
here. She does a long distance.
Yeah. I will tell you this. There was a lot of stuff that was talked about that I didn't, like terminologies I didn't quite know. Sometimes I realize when people are talking about all this modern sex stuff, I start to understand that I might be more of an innocent boy than I realize.
Yeah, man. I was a freaky young boy, and man, I really went in the opposite direction as I've gotten older.
Yeah. Dude, when I was younger, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll tie you up. And then I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, candle wax, ice, like all this stuff. And now things people are doing, I'm like, I'm benched. Like I'm already retired.
Yeah.
Putting my jersey up.
Yeah. Well, I think it's already so hard to just get the energy up
Yeah.
to have sex
Yeah.
that you're like, we got to do all this. We're going to add more steps,
Yeah. Yeah. Have you got into Tantra? I think, you know what? That'll be a different episode.
No, I want to talk about this actually because so Saturday I'm with Ian Bagg, Justy Marino, and Nancy Norton, and we're at the downtown club.
And you guys were doing Tantra?
Well, Nancy just comes in. Nancy just comes in. She's like, yeah, I just want to have tantric sex before I die. Any of you guys ever had tantric sex? Sorry, Ian, that too personal?
Oh, Uncle Nance, if you can hear this, I love you.
Oh, God, I love you, Uncle Nance. But, God,
What a
she's so
left
funny this week.
field. That's so great.
Well, yeah, because, I think Nancy's gone through like a spiritual liberation lately. She seems,
Nancy and I have had some really wonderful talks about Ram Dass, and since she's gone through, I don't want to reveal anything. I'd love to have her on the show, but
no, she wants to come on. We're going to have her on for a show.
With her therapy and where I loved her before, but where she's at now, those things, like just what you said, that is one of those things where I go, oh, your filter, your give a fuck tank is empty and it's beautiful.
Yeah. No, I'm loving it too. But so yeah, she's like tantric sex, and we're all like, I'm like, what is that? I'm like, is it just like having sex for a long time, And I'm like, or is it like getting close and going back? And Ian's like edging. It's like edging.
Yeah, that's edging.
And then
edging is more like, wait.
Well, and she's like, no, it's like you sit like. Have you had tantric sex?
Marciana and I have done like energy work where like you get worked up. I don't know if that's technically tantric sex, but like where you
was
sit
it for
there,
like 8 hours?
No.
Yeah,
I'm
so
talking like
you
But
are
tantric
married
sex
to a
is a-
Reiki master and you haven't had tantric sex. That's how lazy you guys are.
that's well. But that's different.
You're like
tantric
ropes
sex.
and shit. She's a Reiki master. We haven't even tantra'd yet.
Yeah.
Why can we tie? We can't tie before we tant.
I do want to say this. I do love the idea. So in climbing, there's a thing called top roping, and I feel like that is also something that is used in rope kink.
But it's so great. Nancy goes, no, it's like where you sit and it's real slow and it's for hours and you just like you make eye contact and you form a connection, and then like I can't remember if it was her. I think Ian goes like, yeah, but your one eye goes over to the side, because Nancy has a lazy eye, and he's like, so you'd have to have tantric sex with two people. And then Nancy's like, no, John Novosad's got a lazy eye too.
So now it's like a tantric orgy.
Oh God! And then the mental image of Nancy and John Novosad having tantric sex went into my head, and I was like, all right, this is. I'm gonna go take a walk around the club.
I would be interested because I think tantric sex can be a varying degree of time. I don't know that it's necessarily 8 hours. I think that is the possibility. But I do know, I think that there is no jizz involved.
Oh, yeah?
No, I don't think you splode. I think that's the thing about tantric sex. I think it's all almost like internal orgasms.
Yeah, she said it was a 7-layer chakra orgasm. Or
Yeah.
7 chakra, a full chakra.
It's like a 7-layer burrito of orgasmic
Yeah.
appeal with no sour cream.
Well, did I
God,
show
it's so gross.
Did I show you the video of those guys that are God, what is it even? I don't even know what to call it, but they suppress their coming, and then they do basically, he's like, we did a moon ritual recently where we ejaculated under the full moon.
You did show me that.
They jerked off under the they write
paper.
they write their fears and
then
all
they
the
come on
negative
it, yeah.
things, and then they jerk off onto it, and then they burn it. You know, if you've ever done a full moon ritual where
I've done full moon rituals,
of course you have,
but I've never jacked on the sheet. But I've never done a full moon ritual in Wyoming.
Yeah.
I like them. It took you a minute.
Yeah, it did take me a second there. But God, now I lost my train of thought. What the fuck?
You were talking about jacking on a paper, and we
Oh
do
yeah,
have
so the guy jacks on the paper, but what's funny in the video is when he holds it up, he's like, "Here's mine," and it looks like some cum on the paper,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "And then here's my friends," and he's like, "His is very intense," and his looks like he fucking squeezed a 7-layer burrito out on the paper. Like, holy shit! You're like, I don't think those colors are supposed to be in cum. Green and yellow? Like,
Yeah.
I think your buddy has chlamydia.
Yeah, you're blasting guac, bro.
Yeah, are you trying to moon remove chlamydia?
Yeah.
Yeah, your moon ritual's not going to take care of that, buddy. You're going to need some penicillin.
Yeah. God.
But, well, boy, fun. Lots of
Man.
sex talk today.
But we have, I will say that Marciana did this thing with crystals one time where we sat there.
Who's Crystal?
Oh, man. I always, anytime I tell people I'm into crystals, I always make sure and hit that S really hard. Because one time after a show in Missouri, I had some real creepy, less than full mouth of teeth guys going, "You like crystal?" And I'm like, "Oh, no."
Yeah, and then you have the human traffickers come up after, and they're like, "You like
Yeah.
crystals?
Yeah.
We've got 2 crystals."
Could you boof a bag to Wyoming?
Oh, no.
But yeah, we sat there in like a cross-legged meditative state nude. And we did this like maybe 15, 20 minutes, not touching each other, just like having that energy go back. And I will say it finally intensified because I don't know.
Were you hard?
Yeah, dude, but I'm hard mostly.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like
Just like this.
I know I'm 44, but I will say this. When I know that I'm about to have sex, I still get preemptively like torqued,
Yeah. And you'll just stay there for 20 minutes?
No, I mean, it would go up and down. That's the only thing. You got to have a towel down. You don't want that pre-cum getting somewhere. Then the dog's licking it. That's disgusting.
Jesus Christ. It sounds like you're a fucking inflatable tube man over here.
Just
You're just like, okay.
But I think it's cool. You and Megan should try that.
Oh.
It's just like a nice meditative thing where I think it's probably emotional edging. Like you're not allowed to do it. So it's that temptation.
God, as a man from the Midwest, you had me at emotional.
You know what's weird? I don't think this has been the longest, but I know this topic's all over, but you were talking about that full moon ritual. Tomorrow, I got to go make sweet love to a cup. Like I got to go spill seed in a cup.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I've not been allowed to release for 5 days.
Oh, no. What other stress are you trying to bring into your anxiety-riddled life, AJ?
No,
You're like, you know what? I have anxiety and things are crazy. You know what might help this out? Not another dog. No.
Yeah.
Let's have a fucking...
Well, no, I don't know. For me, it's peace of mind. I don't know if I can have children. It's kind of I've had 2 hernias, so there's been some, jumbling around down there.
I don't think that's how it works.
And we have my buddy had a botched hernia that messed it up, so they can.
Yeah, they cut his dick off.
Yeah,
that
jug
happened.
around.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because when we're good friends. He's from Wyoming. I jerk him off. It's really just a DJ time. It's kind of like working a. Yeah. It's like what? Up. Time to go fishing. But
I like it. The dog comes in here. He's like, "What the fuck? Are you DJ jerking people off in
yeah.
here?"
Oh man. Oh god. I do like the fact that Shrek showed up and he's like, I hear you guys are doing the wiggity wick on the diggity dick. But yeah, so I don't know. We just got to a point where we had pulled the goalie a year or so ago. And so it's interesting that nothing is stuck.
Oh, wow.
Like just out of curiosity. So full disclosure, like my deductibles hit. So they're testing my hormones. I already had blood work, so that's going to be announced soon. Yeah, and then tomorrow I got to spill seed in a cup, which I'm nervous about because I don't want it to take forever.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with Marcy's age.
I mean, well, that's another thing too. At her age, we're also, if we decided to have children,
yeah, you got to test them.
It's very concerning, yeah. Just because of the difficulties at that point. But I don't know. I just got to find out if the swimmers are varsity or if they're just waders.
Well, I mean, I think so. Do you keep your phone in your pocket?
More than I should.
So that's what it is.
Yeah?
Yeah, I read the 4-Hour Body or whatever, Tim Ferriss. You ever heard any
I know
that
Tim
shit?
Ferriss, dude. Tim Ferriss, yeah. Have you heard that? Like, he's done some wild stuff.
Yeah, no, I've read 3 of his books.
Okay. Yeah, Tim Ferriss did this thing where
obviously I only work 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But he did this thing where he believed that he was not a good learner. Like, have you heard this?
Yeah, the 4-Hour Chef is about accelerated learning.
Right. So during that process, he did all these experiments, one of which I think he learned jujitsu in like a week and then got into a ring with a professional jujitsu
Well, yeah, one of the more impressive ones is like in 2 months he learned how to like, I think it's God, what is it called when you do the tango?
Oh yeah,
he learned how to tango, and I think he took second place in a
dance comp.
Well, in like a professional tango competition, and he took like I think it was maybe even the worlds or something like crazy. And then with Muay Thai kickboxing, he's done a lot of shit like that.
Yeah.
But basically, he on the 4-Hour Body, he was like he tested his jizz, and they were like, your boys are swimming all weird, and it was from his cell phone. So because I think his thing was he wanted to drop some boys off in the freezer. And in case he ever wanted them, and maybe get cut or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's something too. If they're prime, I mean, I'm riddled with all sorts of stuff, but I think I'm very creative. I'd like to just donate it if it's good. If we can't have kids,
well, yeah, I think there's still so as the male ages too, there's increased risks associated with parenthood as well.
Sure.
So I don't think they want your old jizz, but they're like, oh, tell us more about your mental health. Yeah, okay, yeah, we totally want your old jizz.
Now I'm just wondering if afterwards I get a week and then they bring me into the office and they sit me down and they go, Mr. Finney, we just have a couple of questions. One, are you from Alaska? And I'm like, why would you ask that? And they're like, because your boys are swimming upstream like salmon.
Yeah, well, so what happens is that's literally the problem is the radiation from your phone makes their tails deformed. So, like when you look at them under the microscope, boys are just swimming in a circle sometimes, or they're just like swimming into the wall over and over and over again.
Boing.
And that's what they're gonna do to see how viable your jizz is like how straight your swimmers are, like
dude.
how well they can fly.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. So he was like, oh man, I'm in my 30s and my jizz is all weird. Which they're having problems with male fertility all over the world, which is probably linked to cell phones. But he kept his his phone in his shirt pocket for weeks and went back and got tested, and everything was pretty good.
Huh. Well, that's good.
So,
I would almost wonder about
if you have them kept close to the heat can.
Well, that's what I'm wondering too. You know, a lot of cars now, modern cars have heat warmers, and I wonder if you're just cooking them.
Oh yeah, you just cooking your sack.
Yeah, dude,
driving around town all the time,
frying up those tadpoles.
Just fucking chestnuts on an open seat.
Yeah, just cooked up kiwis.
Well, yeah, I think you're supposed to keep your pants on.
Oh man, well that's the problem. Shouldn't be cruising around pantless.
Speaking of keeping your pants on,
yeah,
I have another pretty good trashy life hack that I feel like I didn't quite cover the extent of the Walmart return policy.
Okay,
on the last one, but All right. You're a young bachelor. You don't like doing laundry. You want to have clean clothes. So you can go to Walmart. You can buy a few pairs of pants, a few pairs of shirts, some underwear, and some socks for about $200, right?
Right.
Wear those for a week and then return them to Walmart and then buy all new clothes. So you never have to do laundry.
You never have to do laundry.
Your clothes are always brand new. They are from Walmart.
Well, yeah, I was going to say you are wearing Walmart stuff.
Which, you know.
But you're probably spending, what, $30?
Yeah. I mean, you're saving so much money on laundry, so much money on time, and your clothes are always clean. And, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I didn't do it for a long period of time, but there was like a time there where I did that for like 2 weeks just so I didn't have to do laundry.
That's one of the fucking laziest things I've ever heard.
Well, I didn't have one in my house. I didn't have one in my fucking house.
It's okay. I got that. Like, but it's more work to have to return the clothes than to put it in the wash.
No, because you got to drive to a place. You have to put it in the wash. You have to pay money to wash it, and you have to stay there for 2 hours. Literally, you go back to Walmart, you hand them the receipt, and you go, none of these clothes fit. And they go, because the lady doesn't fucking care. She's like, okay, here, you know, if it's cash, they'll give you cash back if you paid with cash. And if it's card, they'll put it back on your card. So you pay with cash. They give you cash every time.
And you go grab a new wardrobe.
And you just go grab a new wardrobe, buy it, and walk out.
It's almost like
fucking genius is what you're trying to say. It's fucking brilliant.
It's almost like being on a movie set.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That comparison doesn't make sense to me. Because what? They give you clothes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have wardrobe.
Yeah. No, I guess it is. Walmart becomes your trailer.
So, all you have to do is put a trailer up because you could stay in Walmart for free. And then you get your clothes at Walmart, keep swapping them out for new ones. And you're basically Hollywood.
Yeah. Pretty good tip.
I do like that.
I hope that when this tip goes out that so many people start doing it that I read some article that's like, Walmart frustrated by lazy men.
Yeah. Hippie, not fanned by Walmart.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, 2 life hacks on how to target Walmart. They're going to come after me.
Yeah.
If I die, no, it was a Walton.
Well, and you can say, I did say Target and Walmart in the same sentence.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the show that I was doing. So we get there. Chris introduces, he asks if we want to go see the performers because there's a top and a bottom. And so I'd already kind of done some of the research and I'm like, I kind of know what we're getting into. And I've told everyone.
You mean the tie and the tire?
The tie and the tire.
The Boy Scout and the boat?
Yeah. Yeah. The Boy Scout leader and the young boy trying to get away. So I told everyone at work, and I was like, it's kind of a weird show, so just understand there will be a woman tied up and probably in little clothing, so just be open to that. I go in, we start talking, we meet the performers, and then I realized that there are 4 performers. Like, there's one going on for the first part, then there's an intermission, and then Gabby and Gutierrez and I go up afterwards. So then the feature, and I'm closing it. They tie this woman up. Everyone's into it. The comics are doing great. The woman was very sensual when it was up there. And it was funny. Selma went up.
Okay, explain here. This woman was very sensual. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's just what it is. I think it's part of like a people watching. She's she's
getting off?
Oh, she was into it. No, it's not. So it's hard to explain because I didn't find it to be vulgar at all. But there is a point where like the ropes are on her in a certain way and she's thicker and then the top got ripped off and there's pasties and things are being squeezed. There's a lot of butt. I like butts. I'm maybe a butt man.
I'm a butt man.
Are you a butt man?
I mean, I'm a body man. I don't know.
I
like all of it.
Yeah. But she's
butts is up there in my
butts are up there even though they're down there.
Yeah, parts had to start falling off. At the end of the day, there'd just be a head on a butt.
Yeah. It's a Jeff Dunham. It's a butt on a stick. But so they go up and they're doing this whole thing, and it's kind of choreographed, which was neat. At one point, she's tied up to this bamboo thing, and then she got loose, and the guy grabs her and starts like spanking her, and then I was like, okay. Like I'm reluctant to say I'm into it, but I will say
you're into it. I just saw your eyes light up. You're fucking into it.
I'm curious.
But you weren't into the rope play. You were into a woman escaping, a man chasing her and beating her.
No.
Yeah, that's when your eyes lit up there. That no. Yeah. I think it's very. Don't front on me, motherfucker.
But it's okay. So, but I knew it was a show. If I saw a woman running down the road and some guy's chasing her, I'm not going to be like, well, it looks like it's time to jack. Like, that's.
Yeah.
But the performance.
If a woman's running away, you're probably like, did she steal a chia pet?
Yeah. Dude, we did not steal that chia pet. If you don't know what that means, listen to the last episode.
I saw Logan at the club this weekend, and I went up to him. I'm like, hey, man, we talked about it on the last podcast. AJ totally stole that shit.
Dude, you fucking dick.
Yeah, dude, I've been telling everybody. I'm even getting a high-end deep fake done of you walking out with it in your hand.
Oh, wow.
Because deep fakes are cheap, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone get a deep fake AJ. We need to frame his ass for this.
For no reason.
Yeah. Well, man, if you're a naughty boy and they catch you, they might tie you up.
Spank me. Might give me a little paddling.
So she gets away.
Well, she gets away, and then he traps her, pulls her back in, which is neat because she ran towards the comic, which was also hilarious because the comic was like, because we're told, unless they say so, not to touch them.
Yeah.
You know, to ask permission. Which
so it's kind of like a scorpion from Mortal Kombat thing. She was still tied up to the ropes at the end. He's like, get over here.
Yeah.
You know?
And then everyone else was like, finish her.
Oh, man.
But so they start tying her up, and like, I don't know. I like women. I like women with, like, she had a good body. There was some meat. And like, so the rope was doing, I don't know. It just, I liked it.
Meat. Good way to refer to flesh.
And it was also like, it's a hot woman, whatever. So that gets done. And then they're changing out performers. And everyone's like, hey, when are you going up? And I'm like, I'm closing it. And this is the point where it's revealed. And I'm trying to be open, but I'm also going to be vulnerable and talk about like a slight discomfort that I had. And that is at the beginning, I'd already met my performer, and him and I had a long conversation. He liked fish, super great guy. We're talking high five, and we're talking about dates from the Grateful Dead, what our favorite shows were.
So he's hippie. He's hippie for sure.
Very much.
The hippie. There was no hippie, not hippie up there. It was hippie.
He's got dreadlocks. I'm like, all right, so.
White dude?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Super cool. So I'm like, okay, so this is the top.
Did you show him your rat tail?
I didn't, because there was what I should.
You didn't want him to know there was another rope they could grab?
Right. So it becomes apparent to me, and I wish I wish I was more accepting and shut up. Siri's listening to me. I wish I would have been more comfortable, and I really tried, but I think it was my Midwest upbringing or whatever. I found out while I was on stage, it was definitely going to be a lot of man ass.
Oh, yeah?
Like, that's what was going on. So
you're gay now?
I don't think so. But I will say, like, to quote Brody Stevens, like, I took it to the limit.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did what I could. I felt like I pushed.
Did you get involved in the touch thing?
I did. So
did you spank this man?
Hold on. I was up there doing my bits, and I wanted to be. I'm very.
And then
empathetic.
you did his bits.
I did. I did not.
Did you steal his bits?
So no.
Were you riffing on his bits?
I was riffing on his bits for sure. I wanted to be very complimentary.
Was he dong out, or did he have a sock on it?
Dude, it wasn't even that. It was like this guy had like an impressive like jock strap and a harness. That's it. It was a lot of just mostly wide open butt. Like not wide open. You couldn't see the hole. Like it was so first he had fishnets on.
Yeah.
So that was appealing. Then they tied him up in a way that he was on a chair, and then they ripped the fishnets open. Marciana told me at one point, she goes, I didn't know what happened.
She thought they just ripped his taint open or something.
Right. Well, they had fishnets, and she goes, then I started listening to the set when Gabby was up there, and then I looked back at the man, and the fishnets were gone. And she goes, at one point, she goes, I want to listen to the jokes, but I need to figure out what's going on the other side of the stage.
It does seem like a hard, it seems kind of distracting.
Yeah. So then Gabby...
Are the comics doing their act, or are they just riffing on just talking to the people tied up in ropes?
It's you're very open to do what you want. So it's open to interpretation. It's a great choreographed,
was Gabby like up there when they're tied up, like singing Michael McDonald? I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Oh man, one of my favorite things. Gabby was on stage talking about
Gabby's
Michael McDonald. Yeah.
Okay, so she did do Michael McDonald.
Yeah, she was doing Michael McDonald. And she was like, has anyone seen him live? And there was a woman in the front row that said, I saw him. And she goes, what did you think? And I swear to you, she just goes, I was concerned for his health. And the whole room just got quiet. But Gabby got involved with a cane spanking this boy.
Oh, yeah?
Which now I'm closing it. And I was like,
oh, so she already upped you. She spanked him with a cane. What are you gonna do? Headliner,
I was like,
you got to blow him.
I gotta right. I wanted to keep it funny. I wanted to keep it light, but I also didn't want to not involve them. And because the gentleman's name was Cub, Cub and I had already talked.
Oh, so he's a little bear boy.
I think maybe that's where it came from. I believe so.
Was he hairy?
No, not really. He was
okay.
Yeah, I think he was a bottom.
Okay, so he's like, was he big? I don't know.
No,
I'm just trying to, because I know what a bear is.
Yeah, so he's a smaller. He's maybe about my size.
He's just a little bear.
He's about my size, maybe.
Oh, so you're a little cub.
5'9". I'm not. Rah, rah. I don't even think that's the sound that bears make. But,
yeah.
So he's now tied up there, and I'm going up and trying to explain to them. I'm trying to do my bits, and then looking over, and I was like, God, you look cold. Like, do you need a blanket? My older brother mentality is there's something in my head going, you need to protect that little.
But
fella.
then you're kind of insulting his manhood by saying a naked man looks cold.
I guess it's also what I realized.
Was he shaking?
Yeah, but for reasons he wanted.
Oh, all right.
I mean, he was into all of this, and
yeah.
And
well, no, I imagine that they're not doing a show where they're like, this next person is a prisoner.
No. Right.
They don't want to be here.
Right. And I wanted to be very complimentary.
They're just blinking the whole time they're tied up. Fucking help me.
Right. I kept thinking of if I was in that position, what would I want someone to compliment me on? It's a lot of ass at the audience. It's a lot of man butt. And then I just started complimenting. I couldn't see his hog, but I just kept going, sweet hog, dude. Wicked dick.
Yeah, build him up.
Get that. That's the best thing I could do. And then I got a hold of the cane. And I remembered being Fagin and Fiddler on the Roof in high school. And I was just I did a little rendition of that. And then I was like, do you want me to...
If I was a rich... I'm
reviewing... And that's...
God, that musical... The music for that musical is great. But man, I went and watched it a few years ago, and it's like, oh, holy shit, this is fucked up.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Actually, I was the Fiddler on the Roof. I messed that up. I was Fagin in Oliver Twist. That's where all that music came from. So I totally messed up what I said.
Okay, well.
Anyway.
Back to the ropes.
Yeah. So I now have this cane, and I'm like, do you want me to, give you one? And
because I'm able.
Right. I'm trying, and the audience is now seeing how discomfortable, how uncomfortable I am. And they're like, yeah. And Marciana's losing it in the back. She's like, spike him. And so
you ran into the crowd and hit your wife.
Yeah. I just ran in and was like, pop!
Spank him?
Spank you. The worst part was when I went to spank him, there's so much empathy, even though he looked at me and he's like, you can spank me. And as I did it, I just yelled, "I'm sorry," and then I spanked him.
Probably ruined it for him.
I know. I felt bad. And then later on, I think I gave him a paddling with what appeared to be the insole of a shoe, and finished my act. Had a lot of fun, and I felt bad. And I was like, I want to end this. And his ass is still up in the air.
Have you seen a vagina insole?
A vagina insole?
Are you sure it wasn't one of those?
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. I'm making shit up.
Okay. Is that when?
Have you seen an anal insole?
Dr. Scholl's?
Dr. Holes.
Yeah, Dr. Holes. You need more arch support.
Oh, man.
But yeah, and then I ended the set by like just giving him one good pop.
Yeah.
So
sounds like you're still really thinking about it and processing it.
I am processing it because the whole thing is like I wanted to be open about it, but I'm not homophobic, but there was this weird thing.
Well, you weren't allowed to have any sort of gay thoughts in Kansas. So, now that you're
No, not at all. My dad used to get mad. He was like, "Be a man, work on things. Don't shower with your friends."
Well, yeah, we were talking about the different levels of hippie. Maybe you're on the level of gay where you're like I don't want to blow or fuck dudes, but I would like to tie them up and spank them.
Well, that's look, I'm 44. I'm just trying to live, man.
Well, yeah, and I don't know, maybe you're into a new thing. Maybe you're like, "Hey, Marciana, let's fucking, next time Dave Yates is in town, let's fucking tie him up and beat the shit out of it. We'll fucking dump some hot sauce into his butthole, make him screech, and slap him around a few times."
I did think about how many, like in the 70s, I remember my mom had all these macrame plant holders.
Oh, yeah.
And as I was looking at those, I just kept thinking, I wonder if that was just training for whatever they were doing in the bedroom.
Yeah, something that's definitely going to count against me on my argument that I'm not a hippie is my knowledge of macrame knots.
Macrame knots.
Yeah, I do know how to do a box and a spiral, so... And I may have made...
Wait a minute, have you done hemp necklaces?
I made hemp necklaces.
Yeah.
And I made my own beads out of Fimo clay.
Oh, yeah, dude. Did you make a pipe?
Oh, I'd make mushroom. No, I was always told that the Fimos was toxic if you...
Yeah, I firmly believe the kids that were making Fimo pipes and smoking out of it, where are they now?
Yeah, they're dead, all right? I had a fucking pop can, all right?
Dude, no, I smoked out of pop cans. I don't think that was good for us at all.
No, I'd go into the plumbing section too and then put together weird pipes. I stole weird things of my mom. My mom had this antique, I think it was like a watering thing for plants.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a weird perfume thing, and it had like metal pieces on it. And man, I took all those and she found them in pipe form and was like, "This is a fucking antique."
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, I think she was just like, "God damn it. If you're like, it's one thing you're getting high, but now you're fucking up antiques."
Yeah.
It's like the archaeologist in her came out like, "This is a piece of history. God damn it. You do all the drugs you want. You fuck up your own brain, but you don't fuck up history."
Yeah.
Oh man. Have you ever performed naked?
No, I know Anthony Crawford had or does have that show. I'd like to do it sometime.
I've done it 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Was it liberating?
I loved it, man. I like the nudist colony. In fact, the last time I went out there, I was doing the show with Nancy and Michael Isaacs.
Okay.
And we went out early and hung out at the pool all day, did the show at night, and then
I feel like that would be
and then we camped there. We made dinner, and then Michael had an allergic reaction to the fake sausage that I had made. He's like,
I just love this sentence that he had a fake reaction, or he had a reaction to the fake sausage at a nudist colony.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was funny because by that time of the night, I was a little tuned up, and Michael's like, "Yeah, dude, I was really sick and kind of dying." He's like, "You just kept running bits."
Yeah.
But no, the first time I did that show was wild because I go out there, we're naked or whatever, and they go, "Hey, the guy who does karaoke here, that's who we were gonna get the PA from, but he's pissed." and he's refusing to let us use his PA. So you guys down to just go a cappella or whatever? So
no mic. No, you're totally nude.
Totally nude. I went up with a Coors Light just so I could hold something. But yeah, my first naked comedy set that I did, me in front of like 50 people, I'd say age like late 40s to early 70s, fully naked.
Yeah.
And just me up there holding a Coors Light like, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And then,
I feel like that would be the hardest part is like this weird reaction.
But Crawford's just laughing so hard because I do my cat calling joke where I turn around and put my ass out. And he's like, from behind, nobody's thinking you're a girl, man. He's like, you ain't never done that joke with clothes on. But when you do that naked, he's like, there's a whole lot of beans back there.
Yeah. You're just accidentally shaking Bing Bag.
Well, yeah. And then the next time I did it, it was me and then Dick Black and Crawford.
Yeah.
I was the only
Caucasian?
small white dick on the show, But it was funny because that time it was the winter time and we were outside, and what they call that at the nudist colony is the great equalizer. That's what they call the cold.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's cold, and they're like, yeah, it's a great equalizer. And that one was weird because it was outside. We were naked. It was like in a colder time of year. And they're all wearing clothes, the whole thing's like, hey, we thought this was a nudist colony. And this lady's like, yeah, we're nudists. We're not fucking idiots.
Meanwhile, you're up there with icicles off the Bing Bag.
Oh, yeah. I had an icicle longer than my donger when I got off there.
I think I would like it. Like I think it would be liberating for me. I spent a lot of time naked. I loved being nude. When I was younger, like I spent a lot of time being nude in places I shouldn't have been. I remember I had one friend that Styles, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Styles. And he called me Phineas Longshank.
Yeah.
And when he said that, that's when I was like, oh, you caught me in a very relaxed state, sitting on a couch when I was just chilling.
Well, I loved it, man, because there's so much shame around, I think you're, just being an American, whether you're a man or a woman. Women have it worse than men, but there's just so much shame about your body or your dick or your fucking whatever. It felt really good to just be naked and be in a place where it's like, oh, nobody gives a shit about that.
Right.
It was really freeing. And then, that second time that I went up there, the cold time, I went up, I think it was in April, so it was just cold at night when the show was there, but I went up early for that one.
Yeah.
And I ate mushrooms because they have all these hiking trails. So I ate mushrooms and went for a naked hike in the woods.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Dude, it was awesome.
And extremely hippie.
Oh, God damn it.
I mean, have you seen Wanderlust where the guy's just got the shoes on and he's tripping and he's just running?
Yeah, I mean, so I eat these mushrooms. I have hiking boots and nothing else on, and I'm just like getting ready to head into the woods alone.
Yeah.
And I'm like walking up to the trail, and literally this like 70-year-old woman just like pops out of a bush. Which is weird because I'd never seen a bush come out of a bush before.
Nice. Yeah. If only she was holding a bush light, or just a bush out of a bush holding a bush.
Yeah, but she pops out and she's like, you heading into the woods? And I'm like,
I'm not getting into that bush.
I'm like, yeah, I'm heading into the woods. And she's like, I just want to let you know to be careful out there because we've seen a lot of big cat scat out there. And I'm like, mountain lions? And she's like, yeah, watch out for mountain lions. I'm like, great. This is what I need to hear like when I'm walking naked. Because, man,
there's no way to defend yourself when you're nude. Like, it seems
like I've been in the woods alone and heard noises and gotten scared. Once I was on LSD and I heard a chainsaw noise get closer and closer, and that really freaked me out. But I've had weird experiences in the woods. But something about not having any clothes really makes me feel like I'm like, man, one swipe from a lion and I'm fucking castrated and fucking, eviscerated,
Yeah.
So,
dude, when I was this, I'll talk about this story later, but my buddy Bill and we were climbing, setting routes on the sandstone. And I want to say it was Easter Sunday, and we just got a couple of people found us, and they're like, you should come back. And we started following them, then met them. We ended up in a house for Easter dinner with a whole bunch of Satanists.
Yeah, Satanists are cool.
It was weird as shit. It was just weird.
Like how Satanist were they? Were they like
It was
where
like
we just
goth
like to
Satanist, but
read and stuff, or were they
No.
like doing rituals? Was there a lot of candles?
it was
there?
it was a little uncomfortable. These girls had brought us back there, and we walked all the way through these woods, and nobody knew where we were. And Bill had cut his finger on something, and the woman just grabbed it and sucked the blood out. And at that point, I was like, "Dude, I'm good." But
Oh, she's into blood play.
yeah, absolutely. And we left our rifle out back. That's right. We left the rifle not to freak them out. We followed them to try to see what was going on because we had ran in and found a whole bunch of like dead carcasses every time we'd hit the trailhead. And one time we found 2 dogs in like yang positions that had sticks. There was some weird shit going on there.
Whoa, they were sacrificing animals and then you went and ate with them?
No.
You sure you weren't eating a little doggy dog?
I was not. We ate nothing. We stayed there. We were there for like 15
I eat
minutes.
Something. I wake up tied up in a, and we're in a yin yang, and all of a sudden you have a unwanted lesson on rope play.
Right. And Bill he had a 22 with him that we kind of staged somewhere out of curiosity, like because we were afraid and we didn't want to just bring a rifle into someone's house.
Yeah.
But anyway, it just made me think about that when you're talking about weird shit going on in the woods.
I have another blood play story though, because I met another girl. We never actually ended up meeting out, but it was like when I was like 19 or something. I met this girl on MySpace that wanted to meet up, and she was like a vampire. She was into vampire stuff.
Okay, so when you say vampire, that's how she identified.
Yeah, well, like her and her friends. I actually think she was maybe a familiar.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But for the people that aren't familiar with familiars.
She's like a vampire servant or whatever.
Yeah.
But she wanted me to go with her. Apparently this was, 20 years ago, but apparently there used to be these bars in Denver that were secret clubs.
For vampires.
That were called blood bars.
Okay.
And you would go in there and they'd have like the stuff there to like take your blood out and put it into a glass, and they would drink
their own blood.
Not their own, other people's blood. Like, she is a familiar, so I think she would go down there and give her blood to them. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. No fucking way am I going.
No, dude,
I'm not trying to kink shame anybody either, but I'm like, for me, I'm like drinking a stranger's blood, I was still, AIDS was still pretty scary back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Where I'm like, I don't know if I want to drink a stranger's blood.
Nah, I couldn't do that. Again, if that's what you're into and your partner's good with it, like, I'm not trying to shame you, but there's certain points where I'm just like, there's nothing about it that's going to get me anywhere I want to be.
Yeah, but then, who knows? Maybe you try it and you're like, Daddy like the taste of metal.
Ooh, pennies in the mouth.
Ooh, pennies.
Oh, man.
Tastes like copper. Ooh. Footwear is, I think, the first area that we're going to tackle here.
I'll be back. I have to pee. All right.
All right, so we're going to have a lot of these different areas, but one that we kind of got into last time was footwear and whether that footwear was hippie or not.
Right.
And, man, as much as I like to say that I'm not a hippie, footwear is going to fucking ding me.
Right.
It is going to fucking ding me, especially...
Well, I don't... yes and no, because there's some stuff... You wear boots?
I do. I wear boots.
Leather boots?
Leather boots. I also just got a pair of snakeskin cowboy boots. Don't worry, I didn't buy new snakeskin. They're from a dead man.
Okay.
All right. Stu Beans, R.I.P.
I like how my brain was like, oh, did you kill those snakes? And you're like, it's from a dead man. This man had snakeskin.
Somebody else killed the snakes. He had the boots. He died, and I was like, you know what? Instead of throwing away those snake shoes, put them on old Zach.
Yeah, let's put some meth boots on our toes.
Well, yeah, Stu is a really good musician, and we used to play some music together. So after he passed, my friend was like, I think Stu would want you to have these snakeskin boots because.
Snakes. It's always been snakeskin and alligator skin on the cowboy boots were always interesting to me.
Or ostrich.
Ostrich. Also, I've seen cactus or something like that.
Oh, because they're prickly?
Yeah.
Don't want to get kicked with cactus boots.
Yeah.
Man, that hurts. But yeah, I do have those, but I think this last year And something about the pandemic helped me really shift into a mode of not giving a fuck because this is. I'm embarrassed and proud of this.
Okay.
I did probably 15 shows this summer
Okay.
in Crocs.
Okay. Yeah, Crocs have become popular for people to wear. I mean, I have a pair of Crocs.
I love them.
Are they the insulated ones where they've got like the fuzz in the inside?
They're not insulated. They're they're just dark blue.
Okay.
They look like my pants. I did get a few charms because I thought it was funny. Like I got like a alien and an 8-ball and like some dumb shit, and I put those on there, and I was like, I don't think the world is getting that this is a joke. I think they're thinking
that. So you took them off?
Yeah, I took them off. I was like, yeah, this is too. Yeah.
I love how when you, anytime you do something ironically because you think it's funny, and then people are like, I love your charms, and you're like, I got to stop this.
Yeah.
And then you look down, and they're like, your whole feet are nothing but little bedazzled charms.
Yeah, like I wanted somebody to be like, that's so fucking stupid, and laugh, and they're like,
then high
and they're like,
five.
hell yeah, 8-ball, and I'm like, fucking, I got to get these off of here.
Yeah. You play pool? No, this isn't a badge of honor.
No, I mean, what's funny is I would go up on stage, and I'd like be like halfway through my set, and I'd be like, anybody notice that I'm wearing Crocs up here?
And everyone's like,
and everyone in the crowd is like, yes, we noticed right away. Because, man, Crocs are a divisive footwear.
it is something, yeah.
I used to hate them based on how they looked, but then I wore a pair, and I was like, holy shit, the laziness.
Oh, dude, the comfort and convenience of a Croc.
Well,
I
no
had some for a
socks, no
while.
stink. They're not like Birkenstocks where they're going to they get all grody and weird.
I love Birkenstocks.
Yeah, they're disgusting.
No.
They are. They're just cork that absorbs your foot skin until they're black.
Well, you might want to wash your feet.
I guarantee if you send me a picture of your Crocs that they are fucking stained.
My Crocs, my Birkenstocks.
Your Birkenstocks, they're stained.
They're not because they're fairly brand new. But yeah, it's a cork that
Because you had
starts
to get some old. You had to get rid of the old ones because they were fucking nasty.
No, they weren't nasty. What happened was I didn't condition the cork.
Well,
So my Birk split.
if you get them wet too, sometimes they can. I've had my Birkenstocks stunk.
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to get
Crocs
them wet.
Don't
Because they
stink.
also get, if your feet sweat, they will get kind of gross.
Yeah, dude.
You have to condition and clean the leather.
Crocs
for
don't
sure.
get. I had one pair of Birkenstocks that my dad got me. That dings against me. I have owned a pair, but man.
But as far as a comfort, once a pair of Birkenstocks forms to your foot, they're great.
Yeah, but I'm also like, you put on a pair of Crocs, they're great.
Right, but a Croc's not going to last as long as a Birkenstock.
I mean, I
Like
don't
that
know,
rubber-
dude. I wore my Crocs heavy, and I'm about to wear through them, but I literally wore them almost every day for 2 years.
Right, but you can keep a pair of Birkenstocks for 5+ years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the way that it's put together, but you do have to take care of them. I love Birkenstocks, which doesn't come as a surprise to any of our listeners, but here's the other thing. I also own Red Wings.
Yeah.
I own 2 pairs of Red Wing work boots.
Yeah, but I almost think boots reek of hippiness to me because when I used to be homeless in San Francisco, like you wore fucking boots, you know, because like you never
Also,
knew what you were going to get into.
The sentence being homeless in San Francisco screams hippie.
Yeah, man.
Next thing you're going to do is tell me you were playing music for money.
Yeah, I was. I was, man, but I was playing blues and country.
Yeah? Yeah.
And I was going by the name Cowboy Zach.
Cowboy Zach.
Cowboys, not hippies, but
Well, you know what? I will say this, the hippies and the cowboys, like New Riders of the Purple Sage, and the Grateful Dead too. There was this big wave of like Western.
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson's a big one. Name of my dog, Sweet Sweet Boy.
Yeah, so
Waylon Jennings, like outlaw country, kind of merged over into some of that stuff.
yeah,
but that's also just like
well, Johnny Cash even a little bit, but it's like
it's really just the drug
Johnny.
use.
Yeah, they're like, I'll do drugs with these fucking hippies. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't know. So
Also, as we get into this, I did want to read this real quick. This is what the definition of a hippie is. And it says especially in the 1960s. A person of unconventional appearance, typically having long hair associated with a subculture involving rejection of conventional values and the taking of hallucinogenic drugs.
Oh God! If only it could be that easy, but it's not that easy.
No, it's way more defined now.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a specific subculture that won out.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think how we would score footwear because I think we have to add points for stuff. So I think
Right.
if you have boots or leather shoes, are you thinking that should be a negative 1 point?
Well, because you have to. Oh man, that's hard because leather versus a non-leather, or now they make vegan shoes.
If they're vegan, if you have vegan boots, that's a positive
That's high.
point.
Yeah,
you
for
get a
sure.
point for that. Crocs, I think you should get a point for that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Crocs are at the level of Birkenstock because Crocs are they're like a third world country shoe. You know, they're just
Right.
they're a cheap,
Yeah,
economical shoe.
I think you're right. And I mean, also, when you buy a Birkenstock, there's something in the back of your head that tells you, oh, I'm buying German footwear that's known to be hippie footwear.
Yeah.
Right?
So
It's kinda
I
like-
think for a Birkenstock that's +2.
Okay. What about Toms?
Ooh.
Remember that buy one and
Then
we'll
they
give one?
Yeah. And then when I see that, I'm like, so your shoes are that fucking cheap that
Right.
literally, yeah, Toms, I think we give people a +1 for that too.
Okay.
So
What about tennis shoes? Just is there a certain type of tennis shoe that we would give people points for, or is that just
I think sports shoes, you lose a point. If
Yeah.
you've got
Nikes, Reebok?
Yays.
Ooh, what about? Okay, this one gets weird. Converse, All Stars, high top or low top, because that's kind of like a beach
I'm going to
shoe.
say that's just an equal. I'm
Okay.
going to say nothing happens for that.
Okay, I
You
like
agree with
that. Yeah, I can agree with that.
All right.
Desire to wear no shoes.
Ooh.
Like a desire, like if you had the option to wear no shoes into a public place, you would.
So I'm not going to lie. I was definitely a hippie when I was in high school.
Okay.
I was, but I'm reformed. There was a whole summer where I was just like, I'm not going to wear any shoes.
Right.
I'm going to build up the calluses on my feet and be tough.
Yeah.
I don't need shoes. And man, was that fucking gross.
Dude, I've always had the desire to run around barefooted. I have tender feet. Like I get so upset when I try to do it because it just hurts. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Oh, you don't have calluses built up.
Yeah.
You have to keep doing it.
But also in this climate,
By the end of the summer, I'm walking around a goddamn rock quarry drinking beers barefoot.
do your feet get dry and crack?
I got in a fight with my girlfriend at the rock mine and then had to walk home, and my mom picked me up barefoot walking down the side of the highway, and she just pulls up, she's like, "You're drunk, aren't you?" And
Where
I
are
was
your
like,
shoes?
Yeah. But yeah. No, I think
I mean, that's pretty high on the list, just the desire, right? Like if you go to a festival and you're like, I'm going to run around barefooted the whole time, regardless of.
yeah, I think that's plus. I think we need +2 for if you've ever been barefoot for more than one full day outside.
Yeah. And you're not just at the pool or a beach or something.
Yeah, I think that's 2.
What about, so this is interesting. We talked about Birkenstocks and we talked about Crocs. What about like Chacos?
what are Chacos?
You haven't seen, Chacos are like the zip. They're one of the most popular shoes out here. So it's like a sandal that's got a piece of webbing on it and then you zip it. I think Megan's got a few.
Okay, yeah. Those are definitely, I think you get a point for those.
Okay. Flip-flops?
Flip-flops, I'm going to go even on flip-flops.
Yeah, I think you can go either way on those.
Flip-flops are even. And then I think we should have I think there's a number game to this too. Because if you're a hippie, should you have more than, like, if you have over 5 pairs of shoes, I think you should get a negative point, right? Access. Like if you have over 5 pairs, you get 1 negative point. And if you have 10 pairs, I think you get 2.
10 pairs of shoes in general?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we're just saying you have this amount of footwear.
Well, yeah, because it's like right now I have a pair of Crocs.
Yeah.
I have a pair of leather dress boots.
So,
I have a pair of hiking boots,
right.
Hoka's,
Yeah.
and then I have a pair of Adidas,
Okay.
and I have some also like Adidas flip flop sandal things, but I think they're in the equal out category. So,
yeah. I have a lot of
and
shoes.
I have the cowboy boots, so I think I'm at like 5. I think so. I would get a -1 for that.
But I think
you think.
I have a lot because I also have specified shoes. Like I have climbing shoes, I have cycling shoes.
Well, yeah, I think at that point, that's kind of, I don't know.
Is that different? So we'd have to figure this out because I think we simplify it by going, how many pairs of shoes do you have? We start there, and then we go out of those, how many are dress shoes?
Yeah.
Because I think dress shoes, like if you have shiny shoes and things like that.
I do. Dress shoes are definitely a -1.
Right. And then if they.
I actually have probably more like 7 pairs of shoes now that I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah.
So you think we just get rid of the numbers? You think it's gonna clutter the data? Think it's gonna create some?
I think it might. I think what we could do is go
because it would help. It would help take away from your hippiness the abundance of shoes that you have.
I have the abundance of shoes, but then you go, okay, you have 10 pairs of shoes. How many pairs of boots?
Yeah.
Right. And then once we get through it, if we have to, like, do you have any sandals? And then you can say yes. And then from that, we can go, what type of sandal? Is it a flip-flop? Do you have a Croc? Do you have a Birkenstock? And we can kind of look around that way. Because there's also, like, I think zero shoes is a thing where it's like, it's almost like being barefooted. And remember those toe shoes?
Yeah. So my score on footwear is a -3 on the hippie scale of footwear.
Okay.
How many pairs of boots do you have that are leather?
I have 4 pairs of boots, leather boots.
So wow, big -4 on the boots.
Yeah.
On the Birkenstocks?
I have 1 pair of Birkenstocks.
Okay, so +2.
And I have 1 pair of Toms.
1 pair of Toms. +1. Are any of your shoes vegan?
I don't know because I don't know if Chacos are technically vegan, but I do have 2 pairs of Chacos, one of which are tie-dyed.
Okay, well we know that Chacos are +1, so then that gives you a +2. You have Crocs as well.
I do have a pair of Crocs. Yep.
+1 on the Crocs, and then do you have any sports shoes like Nikes or Adidas?
I do. I have Hoka's. They're like running shoes. Or Ultras.
I'm gonna leave those out.
Okay. So we're just looking for
Do you have any dress shoes?
I don't think so. I think I just use my boots.
Yeah. Okay. So you're coming in with a +2.
So I'm a +2 on the hippie scale of footwear, and you're a -3?
Yep, I'm a -3, and you're a +2. So I think our name is still not a fucking lie yet. It's still not a lie. It's not hippie yet. It's still hippie, not hippie.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice. Well, we've worked out footwear.
Yeah.
And we're out of time.
Cool.
You've got a really cool show coming up at the Black Buzzard, right?
Yeah, I did want to pitch a couple of things I've got going up because by the time this comes out, it is 2023, which I know we'll get more into this, but I did want to say, hey, Happy New Year, everybody. January 5th at the Black Buzzard, I'm opening up for Amy Miller. Super fun there. Also, January 7th at the Bug. 51st Jokes, a Denver must.
Yeah, that's one of the best shows in town. I would be there if I was in Oberlin, Kansas at VFW.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be wild.
Yeah. And if you've never been to 51st Jokes, you should check it out. It's 50 comics doing the first joke they've written of the new year.
Yeah, all I got going on, really, I'm doing a lot of weird road stuff, but come to the Laugh Night on Earth at Sloan's Alamo Draft House. We've got one on January 11th, January 25th, February 8th. The show's every other Wednesday, and it's always free, and we always have great comics down there. I host the thing, and
I should look at my schedule, pop in, do a spot, and pitch the podcast.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'd love to have you. And then also check out our Patreon. We have the way for you to get some cool stickers and stuff, and we do have a custom T-shirt press now, so we're gonna start firing out some cool shirts and stuff. So.
Yeah, and any listeners out there that have ideas for merch, throw it out. Yeah. Let us know what you want.
Yeah, reach out to us. We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Zach Moss.
I'm AJ Finney.
Hippie.
Not hippie.
Yeah.